Hey guys, welcome back to my website, markdillon.xxx. So, I'm kind of excited tonight. My first scene in about a year and a half came out. It's called Sexo in Barcelona for Raging Stallion. I'll be doing a separate blog post about that later. But I'm excited about it. Some of the pictures I've seen look really great, so I'm happy about that. Yay. Um, Alright, so tonight, every once in a while, I'll get a question that I think is kind of worthy of a blog post unto itself. And tonight's one of those. It's from Martin. He says, "Hey Mark, congratulations on your success thus far. You are an amazingly sexy and exceptional performer, and I was pleasantly surprised to see you on YouTube and find out how down to earth and thoughtful you are. You give great, insightful video blogs. My first question is, you seem like a very mellow, centered individual. What kind of things really piss you off, either a past situation or in general? My second question is, now that you've gotten accustomed to the gay life in big cities, what are your thoughts on it? More specifically, the shady queens, the superficiality, HIV, etc. Do you ever feel you have to butch it up in order to separate yourself from that, especially being in an industry that puts a premium on masculine male perfection?" Martin, first of all, I want to thank you very much for your very sweet comments. They are sincerely appreciated. Let's see. As far as being mellow and centered, and what pisses me off, I was kind of born with a personality that is fairly even keeled. Even things that bother me, I just tend to eliminate from my life rather than constantly deal with them. I'm not a big believer in feuding with people or engaging in lots of back and forth discourse about why someone did this or why someone did that, and trying to rationalize bad behavior, which I think a lot of people do. For me, things that piss me off: gossip, disingenuous people, mean-spirited people. I don't like people who go around and try to, I have no tolerance whatsoever for friends who make comments about someone's appearance or try to belittle someone for any reason or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, people who are disingenuous and fake, I have no tolerance for. Mean-spirited people I don't like. Gossipy people I don't get along with. But it doesn't really piss me off because first of all, just in terms of the normal people I surround myself with, I don't really have to deal with that. And if I do encounter somebody who, has those traits, rather than get pissed off or mad or argue, I just choose to eliminate them from my social circle. So I find that in general, I'm not really very pissed off often. Certainly if somebody, if it's something involving, a close friend or something like that, and somebody says something bad about them, that gets to be a little bit aggravating. But in general, not much makes me that mad. I'm pretty even-tempered. Let's see, anything. There's things in the past that have really aggravated me, but again, I think you move past those and you don't give them much consideration. Life is entirely too short, and time is far too precious to spend, being pissed off or aggravated with anyone or anything. I think back to my mother, and she passed away at 38 years old. And when you think about it, none of us are guaranteed another day or month or year. And time is so incredibly precious. And why spend it kind of being upset or mad at someone? Life will always give you, hundreds of reasons to be mad and frown and all of that. I'd rather look for the things that make me smile and happy. And the good thing is, you only have to find one of those every day, and you're in a good mood. So, let's see. The next question. You asked, how, now that I'm accustomed to gay life in a big city, what are my thoughts on it? Shady queens, the superficiality, HIV, that kind of stuff. I don't really, I don't have a huge group, a huge social circle, so I tend not to be around very many superficial people, at least in terms of people that I interact with, regularly. Of course, you run into them every so often. Uh, you know, I try to spend less time judging other people's behavior and more time kind of looking at how to improve my own. So, I just think that yes, there's a lot of superficiality in the gay community, but that doesn't mean I necessarily have to participate in it, or that I have to put myself in situations where I'm surrounded by people who I believe are superficial. So, whatever floats someone's boat. I'll choose to associate with the people that I like, and they can choose to associate with whoever they like. The shady queens, yeah, there are a lot of those, but again, I don't really associate with them, so it doesn't affect me one way or another. I'd rather have a few very high quality friends that I feel like are a net plus to my life than this huge, broad social circle that's filled with drama and trouble and all this kind of stuff. So I don't really deal with very many superficial people. I don't deal with very many, the quote-unquote shady queens, as you said. I avoid that kind of stuff at all costs. As far as HIV, I don't think that's something that is only a worry in the gay community in big cities. That's a worry anywhere you go. But I try to be reasonably safe. I'm pretty open if I'm going to play with somebody about asking their status and making sure that I get myself tested every, I don't know, 4 months or so. Sometimes more frequently, if you have a little slip up or whatever, you want to make sure you're okay. And it's not just HIV, but cities like West Hollywood and Manhattan, which is where I am now, have had big outbreaks of syphilis and antibiotic-resistant gonorrhea and that kind of stuff. But believe it or not, I don't do a ton of hooking up. Like I've been in New York for 3 weeks now, and I've had 2 hookups. One was actually tonight, which is kind of funny. But no, I don't worry about HIV anymore in Manhattan than I did back in Mississippi. I think you kind of try to be as safe as you can, and just talk to your partner and anybody you're going to play with, and do certain things with people that you know and trust, and if it's someone you don't know or it's a random person or anything like that, you just kind of assume you have to be as absolutely as safe as possible. So yeah, like I said, I don't think that it's a bigger worry because I'm in a big city versus, and actually I think being in a big city in some ways is kind of a good thing, because there is a far more supportive gay community, and there's clinics and random testing places and anonymous testing places. So I think people are more likely to go and get themselves tested and treated for whatever they have in a big city versus a small place like Jackson, Mississippi, where I live, where you would go to the county health department or your doctor, and it's very embarrassing to ask for an HIV test, or if you do have some minor STD, you feel like people are judging you. And you take a city like San Francisco, for example, where they have the Magnet Clinic, and you go in there and you feel totally at ease and totally comfortable. They will test you the same day. If you have something, they treat you for free. So I actually feel more comfortable kind of with the health of the gay community in cities like that than maybe I would in a smaller city where people are very scared of going to ask for an HIV test because they're worried somebody will think they must be gay or they must actually have it or some crazy thing like that. So as far as do I feel the need to butch it up in order to separate myself, or to make myself stand out in an industry that puts premium on masculine male perfection. No, not in the least. I'm myself. I don't change that for anybody or anything, including the porn industry. You know, I I love my time in the industry and all of that, but I, I I don't need to do it for a living. That's, it's not a big deal for me. So I would never change who I am as a person to fit into any stereotype that the industry would want. I'm myself, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and I'm happy with my personality. If I seem a little bit too, um, you know, whatever it would be, queenie for someone, that's their problem. I think I'm pretty masculine, and even if I wasn't, that's who I am, and I'm happy with that, and I wouldn't change that for anybody. So Morton, thank you very much. I appreciate your questions. They were very interesting, and you asked some good ones. So thank you for your participation. All right, guys. I want to thank you again for visiting markdillon.xxx, and I'm so excited. I'm sitting here with my chocolate milk. I was at the supermarket earlier, and they had the most amazing, like, old school chocolate milk in the glass container, and it looked so good. So I had to get myself some. Anywho, that's it for tonight, and thank you for visiting. Talk to you guys later.